wanted to share a fun creative project I'm working on with this Scindapsus Pictus, otherwise known as a Satin Pothos. This poor little baby was pretty gangly, really discolored. You can see it's really white or almost yellow in the stems, and had one really long leggy vine and some dead leaves that I trimmed off, mostly of that long vine and some other places as well. When I received this plant, it was in some really kind of like heavy, rocky soil. Even had some leca in it, which I thought was interesting, but I separated that out. And I rinsed this all the way down to the roots. It had a really awesome root structure. I get the sense that someone got some little cuttings. You can tell when you look at the base that this was likely cuttings from another plant, and put them into a really large pot. So it spent a ton of energy working on roots. They're super healthy. They don't look waterlogged or rotted at all. And then I think it was in a pretty low light situation. So it really wasn't getting the nutrients it needed from the soil. And it maybe overwatered a little bit sometimes too. And then it was on this really unique kind of funky moss pole that didn't seem like very effective. Didn't have any of the aerial roots rooting into it. Maybe I get the sense that it wasn't watered very regularly. So the idea with this baby is I would eventually like to take it pretty much to the base and promote some new growth, maybe use some cloning paste. But the first step for me is to get some healthy cuttings. When I've got healthy cuttings, then I can start to fill this pot out and make for a really gorgeous plant. So this fun little creative idea that I came up with, I was taking a look at this long leggy vine, and you can see it's got a ton of little aerial buds all along, and I was thinking about the efforts that it would take to air layer all the way around each of these little nodes, and I got this idea to wrap them all together, make sure all of the aerial buds were facing down, and I've got them into a little pot of sphagnum moss. So what's the purpose here? The purpose of doing air layering is so that all of these little cuttings that I'm hoping to make will have well-established roots before I give them any trauma by cutting them off of the mother plant. It also means that they don't have any open wounds, so they're less likely to rot. And once we get them cut off back at the base of the mother plant, we'll likely have a bunch of rooted plants. So I've got this already moistened sphagnum moss, and I'm basically going to tuck it all around. Some of those aerial buds were kind of facing more up or in. You want it to be damp but not soggy. I think that this will go for one more little spray. And then here's the fun part. I made a really cool little lid for this because you really do want it in high humidity to get those little aerial roots to stimulate. So what I did is I took this little dome lid and made a cut in it so that I can put it on top here. I'm going to pause. And voila, I've got this cutting that's still got this umbilical cord to mama. So I guess it's not quite a cutting yet. But this air layering project where I'm hoping for a bunch of propagations in here while we're still attached to mom, I can open this up, check on the roots, add moisture, and then when she's ready, give it a cut and repot. So I'm going to finish this video by showing you an image of a really healthy Scindapsus and what this beautiful plant has the potential to be. So this is one of my absolutely favorite plants, and she's really getting some great big leaves on her. She's got nice dark coloring and really filling out. So here's the fun project I've got going with this one. I do have, for this plant anyways, what I would call a little bit of a leggy extension. Still got big, beautiful leaves, but I want to size up from here. So this pole that I have built here is not with the intention to be a permanent stability for this plant. I'm going to air layer these roots out. So I've encouraged each of these little roots into the moss, These ones will be all rooted, just a lot like that other air layering project we started today. Then I'll give a nice little cut here. That will stimulate some fuller growth, and then we'll get this mama plant growing up this pole, and I'm really excited to see what she'll do in this corner. She's got a nice light above. I'll be getting a new fixture on that soon. And we'll have some plants climbing up, a couple on shelves up here. These are just place markers, and some will be flowing down, and this is going to be a really beautiful corner. So thanks for joining, y'all. Take care.